We are following the breaking news Candace just mentioned out of South Baltimore. A police pursuit this morning starts in Baltimore County and it ends in the city with shots being fired. Joel D. Smith is live in South Baltimore where the chase ended, and that's when all the shooting began. Good morning, Joel.
Yeah, good morning, Patrice, everybody. The story is starting to come together now. Take a look behind me. Many police officers still here investigating, but I tell you what, there were triple this amount here earlier tonight. This is the Patapsco Village Shopping Center, the place where this pursuit ended, and shots were fired, and one of those shots hitting the suspect here who was taken to shock trauma, his condition unknown. But boy, it's the story before all of this that really gets interesting. This started with a traffic stop on 695 near Washington Boulevard. A Baltimore County police officer trying to make a stop, but the driver fled instead, and that car eventually crashed. And then when the officer got there, there was some sort of confrontation. This suspect overpowered the officer and then took the officer's police cruiser. That then started another chase. He ended up getting away, ditching that cruiser somewhere, somehow getting into a Blazer, and then that vehicle was also pursued for a long period of time, ends up here, and that's where the shots were fired. And this person ends up in the hospital. Now, we're here and hearing a lot of different people. They didn't know what this was. Obviously very scary for anyone around this area. Here's what an eyewitness told us.
I was coming up Patapsco Avenue and I just saw a whole bunch of police cars coming from each angle, and it was just like bright lights. It looked like Christmas out here, man. Like from Baltimore County, Anne Arundel County, Baltimore City, and transportation, everybody was out here. Then I just saw a helicopter land. And a guy was sitting here with me and told me he saw they shot fires, and it was just a lot of things going on.
Definitely, and things are still coming together as we're gathering more information on this, but we do know that the suspect was taken to shock trauma after being shot, and this is an investigation ongoing. Throughout the rest of the morning, they're doing more investigating. They'll have another news conference at 9:30, but before then, the details still coming together, Patrice, as a police cruiser being stolen as part of this entire pursuit.
Busy early morning hours, but the bottom line in this, none of the police were injured in all of this going on.
Right, even though there was that struggle and one of the police officers overpowered, we're hearing no injuries in that situation,
okay.
and none of them were shot either.
All right, Joel D., we'll keep checking in with you. Welcome back to Good Day Baltimore. 9:28 is the time. You're taking a live look there at police headquarters. We are expecting a news conference with Baltimore City Police any moment now. They're going to fill us in on some of the details about this morning's bizarre police chase through several counties, ended with a police-involved shooting, one suspect in the hospital. That is what we know from Joel D., who has been out on the scene all morning long, first on the scene, in fact, but we're going to get even more from the police when that news conference starts in just a minute. Joel D. is there standing by. It's 9:30 now on Good Day Baltimore. We are waiting for a city police press conference on this morning's wild chase that ended with the suspect being shot. Joel D. Smith is streaming live at police headquarters, where we're waiting for a few more details from them. Joel, you had a pretty good sense of what was going on from your reporting at the scene, but I guess there are still some holes.
Yeah, certainly. We want to get any specifics we can at this point, but let's take you through what we know so far. If this starts within the next few minutes, we'll definitely go to that. But folks, let's take you back to this morning. So many police in the area in South Baltimore. Patapsco Village shopping center is where we were. But this really started before that. 2 a.m., a traffic stop attempt on 695 near Washington Boulevard. Baltimore County Police involved in that, but the driver fled and eventually crashed. Now, the officer arrived there, but was then overpowered by the suspect. And then the suspect took off in the officer's police cruiser. Eventually, that cruiser was ditched. It was found by police, but then a third vehicle was actually chased as well, this time a Ford Bronco. That chase ended up in the Patapsco Village Shopping Center. Shots were fired. We talked to some people around there. It was scary for them. They said they heard a lot of shots fired. There were police all over the place, even some helicopters involved in this chase. The shots were fired there. Suspect hit at least once, taken to shock trauma. No police were injured during all of this. So really a wild morning when you look at the entire scope of things. People around there have a lot of questions. So do we, as exactly how this happened and how long the chase took, exactly which jurisdictions it was, and how the overpowering happened. I think is what a lot of people are wondering when you consider there was the crash, there was a chase, and so many different vehicles involved. So we'll get to that as soon as that starts, which could be any minute now.
The police vehicle was tracked down to Baltimore City on to a Motel 6 on Caton Avenue in South Baltimore. As officers responded, they observed a dark-colored SUV fleeing the parking lot at a very high rate of speed. The SUV was stopped by police, and as officers were in the process of removing 3 individuals, a passenger jumps into the driver's seat and flees to the 3400 block of Annapolis Road, where the vehicle is again encountered by police. At that point, officers from Baltimore County and Anne Arundel County Police discharge their service weapons and fire multiple shots, striking the suspect. The suspect is then transported to shock trauma, where he ultimately died as a result of his injuries. The incident is being investigated jointly by the Baltimore Police and Baltimore County Homicide Sections. We do not have a positive ID on this individual as of yet. He is only described as an adult white male. The individuals that were taken out of the SUV are being questioned by Baltimore Police Homicide. They'll also be questioned by Baltimore County Homicide. As far as specifics on the actual shooting, Baltimore Police Homicide are investigating another primary agency.
So
Questions?
Was it the same person who stole the police car who ended up dead?
We suspect so, Mike, yes. It is the same individual that engaged Baltimore County. That part is still under investigation, and obviously with all the jurisdictions involved, we want to make sure that each agency does their due diligence.
Was the initial vehicle a stolen vehicle?
I don't know. We'll have to check with the county on the original stop.
What was the traffic stop for?
I don't know. You'll have to check with the county. All right, that's the preliminary information we have at this point. As soon as we get updates, we will send them to you, and if you have any questions, you can contact Public Affairs Office. Thank you.
All right, you've just been listening to Anthony Guglielmi there with the Baltimore City Police Department, and he is explaining a little bit more about what happened this morning. The new news to come out of that news conference that we had not heard before is that the suspect who police shot at the end of that chase this morning did die at shock trauma. We're going to check in with Joel D. Smith in just a little bit.